Good evening, guys, or good night, whatever. Maybe it's not evening where you are, but welcome to this beautiful Thursday night. AW, your Airable Order. I hope you're all doing good tonight. I really, really do. I'm telling you, where I've been living, it's been really, really warm. Surprisingly, in November, warm as hell. Surprisingly warm. Not normal weather for November here. All right, so welcome to the stream. And this the title of this stream, as you see right here. The next episodic Star Wars 10 to 12. Yes, the next trilogy 10 to 12 in the works. Question mark. Simon Kinberg to write, and I should say to write and produce, because that's what it is, to write and produce. My mistake. And I'll definitely be pulling up the article. So if you have not been paying attention today, if you've been, busy. Sometimes people are busy, so they may not catch up on the news, right? That happens. It happens to me. It happens to others. Or maybe you just haven't been on social media today and you haven't checked the news or sports news, or maybe you're just dwelling dwelling in the end of the world, the end of USA, America, whatever, whatever, guys. All right, but Star Wars fans, Star Wars fans, this is for you. This is for you. There might It looks like we're getting next episodic trilogy in the works. Episodic, episode 10 to 12 in the works from Lucasfilms, among all the other films that Lucas is planning to do with the Star Wars franchise. We know Rey is getting her movie. We know James Mango's getting his movie. We know Mando and Grogu's getting a movie. What else is there? There's another one. Patty Jenkins is getting a movie again. I don't know, maybe Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige. I don't know. There's a list. Okay. And I hope to see some of you in the chat. I'll be right back though. Okay. All right. But you know what? Hope I would love to get Degrassi on. I mean, Degrassi, buddy, if you want to come on now, since there's no be chatting in the chat right now, I won't announce my announcements yet. Okay. When I see the stream being more active, I'll do my announcements. Okay. Because I got plans for the next few days on this channel. Let you know from tomorrow to Sunday what my plans are for this channel, streaming wise. So once I see you in the chat, somebody type stuff in the chat, I'll start talking about my plans. And I'll do it once again at the end of the stream. I'll say my plans again, just as a reminder. Okay. Okay. So Luke, I hope you're in here, Degrassi. I really do. I mean, if I had you, I sent you a link, Degrassi. I sent you a link because I haven't heard your thoughts on stuff. I don't know if you're in the chat. I know you're pretty bummed out. Oh, he's bummed out. So I hope the streams make you not think about that. Even though yesterday's stream, me, George, and Blind did talk about things that had nothing to do with the stream. That's our fault. Oh, look at this. All right, guys. Yes. So I'm gonna pull up this article. Simon Kinberg. Yes, the guy who wrote Age of Apocalypse and directed Dark Phoenix. Okay, Dark Phoenix. Okay. Really, really uh really bad movies, right? Now he did not direct Age of Apocalypse, but he worked on it. And he directed Dark Phoenix. Now, once the reports came out, now who reported it first? Deadline or Resident Variety or Hollywood? Who reported it first? I think it might have been Deadline. Was it Deadline? Yeah, it was Deadline. Deadline reports it. So that's where I got my article. So I'm gonna pull up the article and read the article and give you my thoughts and other things about Star Wars. This whole mess of Star Wars, because we know it seems dysfunctional, not organized, right? With Star Wars, we don't know what's going on, really. So I'm gonna bring up the article from Deadline, the source, the trait that broke the news. So we'll use the source of the information as our source, as our evidence for this stream. Okay, and I'm gonna change this. That's not good. Um, no, the writing is small, so I'll take the caption, the banner out of the way so you can see me. My down below on the right. Here we go. Okay, there you can see me now. Then once I get rid of this, once I got rid of the share screen, I'll put the banner back. Okay. Let's talk about this. All right. There's the title. Star Wars trilogy deal. Lucasfilm taps Simon Kinberg to write and produce. There's the headline. The name of the headline of the article. Yes. Okay. Now let's go read. I'll read what the article says down below. Exclusive. Exclusive. Lucasfilm has closed a deal with Simon Kinberg to develop a trilogy of Star Wars films. Kinberg will write the trio and produce them with Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy. I don't think Kathleen Kennedy is going anywhere now. Guys. Okay. Not going anywhere. All right. I hope this. All right, I'm back. I'm back, baby. Just had to send the link. All right. I heard this will comprise episodes 10 to 12. Who wrote this? Mike Fleming Jr. Okay, Mike Fleming Jr. is the one who got the exclusive. I heard this. Okay, I'll read this again. I heard this will comprise episode 10 to 12. The Skywalker saga that began with George Lucas' 1977 first film, which, along with Steven Spielberg's Jaws, reshaped the global blockbuster game. Insiders disputed my intel. The insiders disputed my intel that Kinberg will continue the storyline, saying this instead it would be a new saga. It is a long percolating the Star Wars project with James Mangold. So these Sherman O.B. Sonoy, Taika Waititi, and Don Glover. As usual, films in Disney are not commentating. Yeah, they're not going to. They're not going to announce it until a bigger day. So yeah. So it may be a new. So it looks like it's going to set episode 10 to 12. If Simon Kinberg's developing, it's going to be a new chapter in the Star Wars universe, which to me is the best route to go down, the best road, because the Skywalker saga is over with Rey. The end of Rise of Skywalker. There's nothing you could do there. End it there. He has also been heavily in other franchises, writer or producer. That includes a decade spent on X-Men films and the Logan spin-off film that starred Hugh Jackman. He's actually a better writer. I would say he's a better writer than director and producer. Okay. And was directed by Mangold. He was also producer of the first Deadpool films and executive producer in 2024 blockbuster Deadpool Wolverine. All right. He produced Ridley Scott's directed The Martian and had scripted such films as Mr. and Mrs. Smith and co-wrote the film that launched the Sherlock Holmes franchise with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. He also produced Kenneth Branagh's Agatha Christie film trilogy that started with Murder on the Orient Express. In short, he's comfortable in the franchise sphere. So he knows how to do franchises. He knows about, all right? Upcoming, Kinberg is producing Paramount's remake of Stephen King's The Running Man, which just went into production. Glenn Powell, Josh Brolin, Emily Jones, William H. Macy, and Lee Pace. He is also attached to produce Paramount's Star Trek movie directed by Toby Haynes, penned by Sam Graham-Smith. Kinberg is rep by CA and Kyle Austin at Jack Away Austin Tyerman. Oh, that's the representatives. Okay. Let's keep this article up. Let's keep this up, guys. All right? Okay. Okay. We do give a lot of shit on him for the last two X-Men movies. That's for sure. They were horrible, terrible, they were bad. And we fans blame a lot of it on him. On Simon Kinberg. Rightfully so, I guess. Okay? But let's not totally tear down this guy. He does have a decent resume. Okay? Here. Okay? A very strong resume, actually, here. A well-known resume here. Like, some of the X-Men films, Logan worked on Logan. He did Martian, Deadpool, Wolverine. He did. He produced the first Deadpool films, and he was executive producer on the third Deadpool films. I don't think that means much, but he has done Sherlock Holmes. He has done some Cameron Baldwin's films, some of the Cameron Baldwin films, horror films, horror murder films, as Cameron Baldwin is known for, is mystery crime, right? But do I trust? So he's gonna be working on Star Wars and Star Trek, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. Now, if these get so what now? What happens to Ray? That Ray movie, is that Ray movie just a one-off? Is this Ray going to be focused upon that movie and not go forward? I mean, what's the trilogy sounds like it's going to be a brand new thing, a brand new story. But that Ray movie, is that Ray movie going to be any necessary to these episodes? These episodes 10, 11, and 12. He was co-creator Rebels. Uh, because the Ray movie does take place after Rise of Skywalker, and these trilogy movies will take place after Rise of Skywalker. Will that Ray movie be like a prequel? Is it possible that Ray movie? Is it possible we get to lead some of the characters from that possible Ray movie as the leading characters going forward in that new trilogy? Is it possible that could happen? And maybe that's why it seems like production on the Ray movie is slowing down. Maybe Simon Kinberg wants. Maybe Simon Kinberg, like Degrassi says, story group. Maybe Simon Kinberg has talked to the director and the writers who's doing the Ray movie. And they, you know what? It's slowed down because maybe I want to use some of the characters you're suggesting in your movie, and maybe I want to break them the forefront, the main characters of the next trilogy. Is it possible that the Ray movie could lead into the next trilogy? Okay. And that's why we're seeing some of this. That's why we're seeing slowdown on the Ray stuff, on the Ray solo film. Is it possible that Sean Kilberg pulled the string back, Lucasfilm pulled the string back, just for that reason? Is it possible? I'm just saying, is it possible? Okay. I think it's possible. Also, is this Star Wars track? Is this Star Wars? It says here he's also working on Star Wars. What's up with this deal with Star Wars? Not Star Wars, Star Trek. Is he going to produce Star Trek and Star Wars? I mean, just like J.J. Abrams? Now, what does this have to do with all the other movies? All the other movies. I mean, like the Ray movie was the one I could see fitting into this right now. Right now. Look, I got this community tab. Right now. Okay. I want to read some comments. I'll read some comments. Here's the thing. After destroying X-Men, I'm sure he's up to the job of burning Star Wars too. Well, let's look at his X-Men stuff. Let's look at his X-Men work. Let's be honest. Yes, people are giving shit on Simon Kinberg for those two movies, but if you really look at his resume, um, he wrote X-Men: Days of Future Past. Okay, okay. He wrote he produced Deadpool. He wrote produced Deadpool, and he was actually producer on Deadpool Wolverine. But yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of movies that he wrote and produced with that are not good. Okay, Fantastic Four. Okay, example Fantastic Four. Yes, Fantastic. He wrote and produced. Not good. Not good. Not good. Obviously, Logan was great, but he didn't write Logan. He wrote Dark Phoenix. You know what? He might be a better producer than writer. I'll say that. I think because I'm looking at his resume, his filmography, and what he wrote and produced. The movies that he produced are clearly the better movies. The movies that he wrote, most of them are not the good movies. So he's definitely a better producer than writer. So this also with this saying he's right to produce, this is 50-50 of me then. Because I'm confident in the producing side of things, but I'm as a writer, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, okay. His most successful movies, like Logan, The Martian, stuff like that, he uh he produced. He didn't write. I guess what I'm saying is, I think I'd rather have him as a producer than a writer. Uh, But telling by his resume, that gives me there's enough evidence by his resume to give me that observation hypothesis, that conclusion, not observation, conclusion. This feels talk like a fucking scientist. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, see Degrassi. That's Degrassi. If you look at his filmography on whether it's IDMB or Wikipedia, you could see what he worked on as a writer and a producer. His best work is as a producer. As a producer, his best work is is a writer. He's a solid producer, but not a good writer. He's a much better producer than a writer and a director. So that gets me concerned. Okay, that gets me concerned as for the next trilogy. Look at this as a writer. Oh, X Men Last Stand, Jumper. Okay, Sherlock Holmes, whatever. X Men First Class, he didn't even write. Days of Future Past. Okay, Days of Future Past. That okay. There's a one where one he actually wrote that's good. But Let's Be Cops. He didn't write. Okay, Fantastic Four. He wrote. Fan Four Stick. No. All right. Dark Phoenix. He wrote. The 355. He wrote. if I was Lucasfilms, I would tell him, yeah, I'd rather have you produce and somebody else write this trilogy. Oh, he must have something. Yeah, he must have something. Hey, Degrassi, I sent you a link. If you're free to come on, come on, come on. I'm just, I just have it's like, I don't know how someone with a resume as a writer continues that has flops after flops and not well received movies keeps getting work. He has to have something. He has to have friends or collateral or like blackmail, extortion. Look at this. It's not good on the writing side of things for him. I'm curious, like, did James Mangold recommend him to Lucasfilms? Chris Terrio? Oh man. Oh, so Chris Terrio, that's not a good thing either. Okay, he wrote Argo. No, Terrio has wrote Argo. Not bad. It's not a bad movie, but he's not exactly the best writer either. What is Lucasfilms doing? What is Lucasfilms doing? Why are you bringing like? Do they ever do? Does Kevin Kennedy, John Favreau, David Filoni look at the people they're bringing in? Look at the success of the work, or they just ignore it? Because it's really not good. His producing material too, man. Not good. I don't understand. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, all three of those movies. Yes, BVS, Justice League, Rise of Skywalker. Yes, yeah. Not a good track record with those last three movies, right? Now, like when I saw this drop today on my feed, on my X feed, people were not happy with this. Now, Wednesday, if they announce Chris Terrell's coming back, you're gonna see more of a negative reaction. It's not gonna be positive. Why is like why is Lucasfilms doing this to himself? Why? Oh, maybe he's a big Star Wars fan. He knows what he's planning. He has ideas. Yeah, but a lot of directors are probably big Star Wars nerds. It's just maybe Kathy Kennedy not giving a shit. You should give a shit about your And what's going on with Ryan Johnson trilogy? Is Ryan Johnson just is Ryan Johnson what's Ryan Johnson's next role? Right, he has Knives Out, right? So his third Knives Out, right? So after Knives Out, can he focus on wherever Lucasfilms paid him for? Oh, or maybe DC? No, who is DC? Is it J.J. Abrams or Ryan Johnson DC? And if he's not doing, it might be J.J. Abrams, but Star Wars still wants Ryan, right? Star Wars had a period deal with Ryan Johnson. He hasn't done anything with that. And remember, we still got the supposed Taika Waititi, Patty Jenkins. Like, we've been crapping on Marvel and their problems, their issues, but Lucasfilms, not the thing is, on their film side of things, it's a mess. It's a mess. The only one that's for sure that's certain is Mando and Grogu. They have a release date, they have a year, everything is set up for that movie. But they got nothing. Like, that's it. Here's the thing. If this is like a sports team, if this is like a sports team, right? I mean, it's Marvel and and Kathy Kennedy are one the Marvel Studios and one Lucasfilm. So they're like the president, right? Sorry, but right? If there's like a sports team, they're like the president, Lucasfilm's the president of Marvel Studios. But if they had like a GM, their GM would be fired, right? Because it's such a mess. Their GM would be fired because in sports, if you have like a team that's been struggling for years and years to try to get back to be 500 and eventually a championship team, GM and coaches get fired all the time. And as a sports analogy using here, since they don't have a GM and GM and but if they did, the GM would get fired. Okay, like that's it's just how it is. I mean, like look at the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets are, for example, that's from ownership all the way to the rest of the team, to Aaron Rodgers, all of that. But look, sports teams that struggle to get from the bottom all the way to the all the way to being a successful a run well-oiled machine. GMs get fired, coaches get fired. Presidents usually don't get fired. They might step down, but they don't get fired. Presidents are usually the ones that fire the GMs. The only people that can fire the president is really the owner. And the only person that can fire Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige is probably Bob Iger. And they're not getting fired. They're safe. But if it's like a sports team and this is a mess, Kathleen Kennedy probably would probably not be around. Oh, that might be. Yeah, that's true. Nobody cares if it's less dirt shit. But man, Blind is not gonna come on because he's streaming. Okay, now if we're gonna do a trilogy, let's not do like Venomins of the First Order, please. Let's start with a new enemy, a new rise to a new empire on the rise, a new rise to dictatorship, authoritarian. Cut. Ironically, I'm saying that because of the past 2 days, right? But Star Wars has always been democracy versus fascism, right? That's the basis of Star Wars: democracy versus fascism, right? Freedom versus oppression, slavery, whatever you want to call it. And that'll probably continue again and again. And it's probably gonna be the premise for the next trilogy. But can they do it different? Okay, Degrassi, thank you. Yeah, I'll give you a few. I think it worked. I think the link worked this time. Yeah, don't worry, man. I'm just watching football right now. I watch Star Wars. I mean, and I'm actually one of the few to defend the Star Wars. Okay, I'm one of the few to defend this franchise. I just don't know about him. And I'm not gonna give ideas on who should. It's not him. Who? I just not. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. But how long will this trilogy happen? Will it come after the movies? The solo movies? Will it happen in between? Well, we just got a new saga, a new trilogy would be the best fit. And the Ray saga. I mean, it was ridiculous. But let's see what else. Um, let's see what cash up stuff out. Now let's see how Bunny Man does, right? Bunny Man. Let's see how Bunny Man does. Eh, okay. The thing is, I think, yeah, the way solo movies should set up the trilogy. That's my point. The way movies should set up the trilogy. But this is not a good. To me, this is not a good look. It feels like Star Wars is desperate to hire anybody. Guys, it's. I mean, we got Skeleton Crew, right? Skeleton Crew, and maybe Andor season 2, but we got nothing on the pipeline in terms of Disney Plus series after Andor season 2. Nothing. I think. No. Okay, so there's a lot of questions. A lot of questions going in here. And a lot of questions about Lucasfilm's not management, but plans. Okay. Like, give us some sort of idea. I know Marvel does that, right? Marvel gives us, oh, this is gonna come out this time of year. Sometimes it's a little preemptive, sometimes it's a little get ahead of ourselves like it did in 2022. And some of the stuff in 2022 for Marvel, they push back or they change the title, stuff like that. And then Marvel released their TV schedule for what's coming up on for their TV slate of things. They did that, we know. But at least in Marvel, at least they have an idea, and they actually go with it. This Star Wars just comes with ideas, but never really on the movie side of things. At least they come up with ideas, but never capitalize or work on ideas. I mean, why's it taking so long for the Raid movie? Maybe it's because Simon Kinberg says, hold on, pull it back. Maybe something from the Raid movie I could use for the trilogy. The trilogy he's writing. I think that's I think it's a possibility. It's just that. Oh, well, also, yeah, like I said, also Star Wars. I don't know what's after Endor season 2. Endor season 2 doesn't even have a release date. It is filmed, so don't worry. They may have a trailer. Oh man, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm gonna be tired. I'm tired today, man. Oh, a little frustrated too. No, well, I'm not that frustrated. I'm gonna waste some time here, guys. Waste some time until Degrassi can come on. We'll talk more about Star Wars. You know what? Getting a Mass Effect TV series. Mass Effect TV series, guys. That should be fun. It should be fun. But yeah, some people are not satisfied with who's going to be producing it. Evie or Ned. Also, so we'll just wait for. There we go. There's Degrassi.
What's up?
What's up?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah, perfectly
All
fine.
right, good.
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Taking mine off things.
Oh, yeah. I'll be all right. It's not me I'm worried about.
Yeah, I know. As I do stuff like this, keep people's minds off things.
Yeah, I fired up the PlayStation tonight and
Yeah, I'm
thinking
supposed to
about
get.
the PS5 Pro and how I probably don't need one.
I'm not in Canada. It's like $1,000 for that. I'm not getting it.
I think, what is it, 700 here?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I just don't. I mean,
In 3 years, you'll probably get the PS6 will probably come out anyway.
I never bought a PS4 Pro.
Oh yeah. It's also
I
like
just don't think I just don't think that I will be able to discern the difference.
no.
And I think a lot of people are rushing out to buy them to have the new thing, which is cool because I do that too. But
Yeah.
a lot of these people don't even have the TVs or monitors that have the technology in them that enables you to experience all those upgrades that the Pro gives you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, here's Blinded. So Blinded is
What's
streaming
up?
on his stream too, I think. Or
Yes,
you,
I am streaming. Oh, is Degrassi here? What's up, Degrassi?
what's
yeah,
up?
Degrassi's
How
here.
you doing?
I'm good. How are
Okay.
you?
Good, good.
Yeah. So Degrassi heard my
I'm
opinion,
gonna
and I
do
think he's in
dual
the same
streaming.
boat as
Yeah.
me. We're not. I don't think we're happy with this.
Yeah.
Who's
Is
gonna?
anybody really happy with this? This is bizarre. I don't really understand this news.
He's a good producer, but he's not a good writer.
No. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he's. Oh man, I don't think he's
Yeah,
particularly good at. I mean, isn't
he's that way.
what is he recently producing? I just mentioned this. Sorry, my
Oh,
brain is all over
recently
the place. Yeah. Oh
he's
boy.
come. His next movie is that Josh Brolin movie. What's it called?
Oh no.
The Josh Brolin movie. It's called The Running Man.
The Running
Everybody,
Man, yes. Yeah, that movie I'm actually looking forward to.
but his
Yeah.
filmography, the stuff. If you look at his filmography on the stuff as a writer, not good. As a producer, good
I'm
stuff.
sucking.
Good films. Good films. Like so some people talk shit about his X-Men stuff, but this is the same guy who wrote Fantastic Four, right? Fan Four Stick. Like people don't real
Yeah, he wrote Fan Four Stick,
yeah.
and he also directed Dark Phoenix.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
and he
wrote,
wrote
he wrote, he wrote,
Apocalypse.
produced, and directed Dark Phoenix, and he wrote and produced
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Apocalypse. So
But let's be fair, he did do a good job on Days of Future Past. He did write and produce that, and he did do Logan as a producer. Like as a producer, he has a better resume. As a writer, um, yeah, I'm a majority of people's side. That's
but like I said in the chat earlier, and I've said on other chats that he co-created Rebels, and he's been at
yeah.
the story table. I mean, that shows we're 10 years out
So
now, right? And
I think he's the reason why the Ray movie is being probably pushed back and not going production.
I know I've said this in your streams and chats a long time ago that the 3 movies,
Yeah.
but they weren't a trilogy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I still think that's the plan. Somehow that's still the plan. Somehow Palpatine returned.
I hope he doesn't return for another. Like if this is the next trilogy if this episode 10 to 12 is supposed to be a brand new story, get rid of Palpatine. Like no Palpatine stuff.
I think the only dead character that's coming back is Ben Solo.
Yeah. So maybe this is one of the reasons why I think maybe it's put a bit of a hiccup for the Rey movie. Maybe he wants the Rey movie to come out first, and maybe a character, whoever's in the Rey movie, will be the focus point of the new trilogy. Like that's what I think.
Lucasfilm has just suffered from trying, and I don't think it's Kathleen Kennedy's fault. I think it's just the mandate that Disney has given them.
Here's the thing.
They had to try to somehow copy the Marvel formula of how to do things.
Yeah, the difference is we talk about Marvel, and you've been talking about Marvel like you think the time's come to end, but Marvel actually has like release dates, plans, stuff like that. This they don't. They actually
how many of those plans come to fruition? How much of it actually makes the date? We've got Blade. I mean,
well, at least the movies go in production, right?
House.
At least some of the movies go in production. That's the difference.
Go back and read. There was just I forget. There was a big Robert Downey Jr. like a feature article on him, and they were talking about the early days of Marvel and how just I mean, it's always been like this. This isn't new. You know, things change up to the last minute. Nothing is ever really, everything is just fluid
Yeah.
until it's on the screen.
Yep.
You know, it's just the way it is. And when the trades, which again, most of the trades, Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Rolling Stone, what is it? I forget what, Ebony, maybe one of the black magazines. They're all owned by the same company. All of these stories go through the same mill, you know, and they're lately they're more wrong about stuff than they have been in the past. I attribute much of that to AI's interference, just the noise that AI picks up, just the noise, the wrong noise that AI picks up with these people that are obviously leaning on it too much to complete their work. So, well, the most recent example I have is that it started at Bloomberg of all places, whoever does their entertainment files, that Netflix refused to buy Harold and the Purple Crayon from Sony.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Netflix was already in the middle of a 5-year deal with Sony where all of their theatrical output was going exclusively to Netflix for a window.
I'm gonna be a little. I wonder if that has something to do with the actor in the movie.
But see, here's the thing, Aaron. Harold and the Purple Crayon is in the top 10 on Netflix. It premiered last Friday, I believe.
Okay.
So it was a complete. And there were a couple streams that were like, "Oh, Netflix isn't going to buy Harold and the Purple Crayon." I'm like, they don't have to. They already have the streaming rights. Why would they buy something they have the rights to?
Why would it?
These stories just they pick these stories up, and there's no basis in reality. There's just no basis in reality for some of this stuff.
And the streaming service is starting to get called out by big name directors and actors for this movie should not be on streaming service. This should be in the theaters. I feel like Greta Gerwig is going to leave Netflix. I think she will leave.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be doing Narnia there.
Yeah, I think she'll leave. They'll get somebody to do Narnia, but I think she'll leave Netflix.
Daniel Craig and Ryan Johnson crying about, like, that's the thing. You made these deals.
Yeah, you knew those. You knew that. That's what they told you, Netflix, at the beginning. Like,
but you know, they're not. Netflix isn't doing themselves any favors by buying more theaters or being interested in buying more theaters. If you just have, it used to be that way, I guess, that you could own a couple theaters in a couple big cities, and that would be enough to keep it, to keep it going. But that's not going to work. They must write that. Oh, I know what they do. They're historically preserved buildings, so they're actually likely subsidized by the government. Netflix probably takes some kind of government money, whether it's state, municipal, or federal, or all three probably, and uses it to maintain these buildings. So they don't have to, but they get to profit off of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like right now, Amazon's getting ready to do this thing where Amazon Web Services uses NVIDIA chips, right?
Yeah.
But now Amazon is going to insist that their vendors use their chips. What's the, I forget. They got it. Yeah, it's all revenue for them while everybody else has to pay.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. So that's another instance of the same kind of thing. Anyway. Why is Simon Kinberg, shit floats?
You think he has stuff about Bryan Singer?
Well, everybody's got something on Bryan Singer.
Maybe I should get Robert Burnett on. Get stop talking.
Well, if anybody would know, it's him.
Yeah, well, it's not working with Capia anymore. You don't see Kim on the Capia show anymore.
Oh, really?
I think does he have that new? What's that new animated podcast? Whatever he has, What was he working
Oh,
on?
is he trying to be a real professional entertainer again?
Uh,
A
I still see
professional
one.
creative?
Yeah, right. Now there's this Chris, uh, his brother-in-law, and what's the guy's name? I forget the guy with the red face. What's his name again? Jonathan? Is it Jonathan? Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, I do not know.
It's funny though. It's funny though. I'm actually doing a reaction to Campia's reaction to this tomorrow. Even though D23, like guys, D23 is not going to be big in Brazil. It's just replacing the Japanese one. Okay, they used to do D23 in Japan before the pandemic. Okay, the pandemic officially ended D23 in Japan. And so this is going to go worldwide. So that's basically D23 International is basically replacing D23 Japan. That's it.
Yeah.
And nothing really big. I mean, look at the times. I'm just gonna say this. Look at the times they're scheduling. 4:30 Brazilian time. Okay, that's Marvel, Fox, and Lucasfilms. 4:30 Brazilian time. That's 2:30 my time. It's probably 1:30 your time because you're an hour ahead. That's 11:30 Pacific time. You think anything big's gonna be announced around those times? No.
No, probably not.
Because the grassy, like Brazil is not far ahead of us. They're not.
Yeah.
Time difference. They're not. They're only 2 hours ahead of me and 3 ahead of you. It's like it's not. And in the afternoon, like it's probably just gonna announce upcoming, like a little bit more detail about upcoming stuff. Maybe more pictures of Daredevil, Fantastic Four, maybe a little bit more of a Skeleton Crew. I don't know. Just Captain America. I mean, that's. Are they going to reveal any more of Captain America after doing reshoots again? I mean, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, after all the Happy Meal toys or the children's meals toys at McDonald's, and yeah, I don't know. I don't expect that movie to be very good.
Oh yeah, like how do you do reshoots? I mean, I know Marvel does reshoots all the time, but like, how many times has it been reshoots for this movie? Like,
I don't know. I mean, they've got 90 plus days to the red carpet, so
if I was the crew working on this movie, I'd be so pissed off. I would not be happy. If I was Anthony Mackie, I would ask for more money. I'd be like, give me a couple more million.
It's work. They get to work.
Yeah, but it also does kind of get in the way of other potential work. I mean, what has he done? I mean, like he's doing what? Is he? I guess he's finished the season 2 of Twisted Metal. They finished that, right?
What? Isn't there another season?
Yeah, Twisted Metal is getting season 2. They announced it at the Video Game Awards.
Okay, yeah. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm drinking. The way movies could be a one-off, sideways, but I think I think Simon Kinberg is probably delayed that movie. I think he's the reason that movie's delayed.
Which one? I'm sorry.
The Ray movie.
Distracted.
The Ray movie.
I think the Ray movie was always part of this 3 movies that it's a non-trilogy trilogy, and I think that's still the plan.
Yeah, it could be. You just don't know, like. I mean, they don't have anything in the pipeline as shows right now, except for Endor season 2 and Skeleton Crew.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know Ahsoka season 2 is actually supposed to happen. One of the actresses, I think, who plays Sabine Wren, basically kind of confirmed it, but not so much. You know, she kind of confirmed it, but she said it's supposed to take place after Mando and Grogu. So, what is that? 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
season
it's
2.
Crazy. This stuff is taking way too long.
Yeah, will anybody care? That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been 5 years since Mandalorian premiered. Yeah, it's a tough. Like I don't know what anybody's going to care about in 6 months, Aaron. To be completely honest with you, everybody was going to have an entirely different set of priorities.
Things could change definitely. You're bigger on DC. You think DC is on the rise, and the other fandoms on the
Yeah,
uh, uh, are going the opposite direction.
Marvel out, DC in. I think that's where we're at. If comic book movies are going
If
to have any kind of
if
future.
if like you said about Lanterns, if it does become what you said about Lanterns, it becomes the HBO show, Max show, whatever. That's not a good look for Disney for their Marvel and for Marvel shows.
Well, it's a grown up show. It's not.
Yeah, that's my point.
It's yeah. It's not.
It's not
Yeah.
a good look. The Batman look. I like the Agatha show. I like the Agatha show. It's solid, but it's one of the better Marvel shows. But it's not Penguin. Okay, like when
I
I
think
hear,
all this Joker show stuff's about to break.
yeah, I don't know if they should do that. Honestly, I don't know if they should do a Joker show.
They're doing a Joker show.
Not because of the Joker stuff. I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe you could try, but like if you do a Joker show, that more like it needs Batman in it, and it has to be revolved around Joker and Batman's relationship, and then you can continue on later on. Because Joker is very important to Batman. Where
Yeah,
Penguin,
that's a tough one though. I mean, I think
yeah,
that's the big ask is how do they get
yeah,
Pattinson,
with the
and
Penguin,
that's
the
a
Penguin, with the Penguin, you could get around it with Batman, but Joker is harder. I mean, I know
well, I
they've
think
done it
they
with
could
Todd
find, I'm
Phillips.
sure they could find a way to get around it.
It'll just probably just be harder than the Penguin.
I don't know. It could. I think it could go either way.
Well,
Actually,
the thing is,
'Cause
I think Blinded told me he thinks the Joker is going to be the main villain of the final Batman movie.
I think that's the plan. Is that they have this show, they do the movie, and then they
Yeah,
have
they
another
do.
show
Yeah,
or two,
the thing
and
is,
then
I
they
understand there's
do
people
another
out
movie.
there. There's people out there that's frustrated with Joker being used all the time, but you have to understand why Joker is important to Batman. Why he's very important to Batman. It's he's the most character. He's the most important character to Batman. More important than Alfred. More important than Robins. More important than the rest of the Batman. He's the most important character to Batman. To Bruce Wayne. Batman Bruce Wayne. You got
Yeah. I mean, he is the like he's the number one guy.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. People
but
understand why
it's
Joker.
it's. I think people need a break, and
Yeah.
yeah, I
Like
don't
the
know.
Joker.
I don't suspect. I really don't think that we're going to see the Joker in the DCU for a minute. I could be wrong, but I don't think that
I
I
would just
am.
wait a while, man.
But
Don't. It's. I don't know how to. I don't know how to differentiate Joker. I mean, like, if I did DCU Joker, I like your idea because you said a couple times in my chat. Maybe they should pretend the Joker is dead, but the Joker is not dead, and the Joker's always been in the background.
I've had I'm very confident that at the onset of the DCU that the Joker is presumed
Presume.
dead.
Yeah.
Um, we'll know more in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
You think so?
Because don't think that.
Oh, you mean Creatures Commandos?
Yeah. I mean, the show's very. It's not. There's going to be lots of world building in that show.
Yeah. And you got Clayface.
Some of it includes Gotham City. So if you want a taste of what the DCU's Gotham City is going to be like, watch Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, but there's. I mean, yeah. So I assume Clayface when we show some Clayface. I assume that's a Gotham.
Well, if they show Rupert Thorne and Dr.
Rupert Thorne.
Phosphorus,
Yeah.
Rupert Thorne is involved in the origin story of Dr. Phosphorus. It's how Alexander Sartorius becomes Dr. Phosphorus.
Mm-hmm.
So the nuclear power plant, I forget Rupert Thorne and something with the Gotham politics because that was his thing, right?
Yeah.
And Yeah, and he, I think however it went down, I can't remember panel for panel, but yeah, Rupert Thorne was behind the creation of. I mean, they thought they were killing him, but
Mm-hmm.
they instead created this horrible villain. Who's going to be hilarious. He's just going to be absolutely hilarious, and I can't wait. So yeah, so we know who's doing. There's going to be it's going to be a nice teaser for what to expect and the kind of world we're going into.
Yeah.
The tone won't be the same, right?
No.
This is definitely like a Suicide Squad. When
Yeah.
people are like, "It's what he just did the Suicide Squad, but with
Oh, no.
monsters." Yeah, that she says it.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, Waller says it in the show.
Yeah.
Like,
You can't use humans anymore.
yeah, the government told the
Yeah.
army told us we can't use people anymore, so now we got to use these freaks.
Yeah.
And, and it just builds on that, and
hey, Anthony.
I think it's going to be a wonderful treat for everyone.
I mean, they're going up against Cersei. I mean, that's a hard fight.
Yeah, but I mean that's world building right there. Just her very presence, right, is world building. Kind of unlike anything that we've ever seen. They haven't just dumped a dozen characters on us all at once, pretty much, and said, "Here, this is the world that they live in. Get used to it." and that's what they're doing here.
Yeah,
right? I think it's going to be unique for anyone who likes that stuff. Who likes this dirt stuff, right?
It's the opposite of the Marvel formula.
Yeah. Oh no, it's totally different than the Marvel formula. It's and I think it's different enough to appeal to not because there's everybody says general audiences and normies and like what does that mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say my 85-year-old dad, I consider him general audience and a normie, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like he knows Superman's origin and Captain America's origin, and he knows the ins and outs of a lot of this stuff that you wouldn't suspect an 85-year-old guy who's losing his marbles would, right? So there is a middle ground between like the obsessive compulsive super nerd / professional fan.
I guess
normies.
it's because there's maybe some characters, whether it's Marvel and DC, that are not really overly exposed, popular, like characters like Ant-Man, the more the niche characters. That's what people are like. Maybe that's why they need origin. They do origins in Marvel.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, they're not. Think about how padded those movies are. Are the first two Thor movies particularly good? I don't.
I like the first one for what it is, but Dark World, that's garbage.
Yeah, I didn't think they were. I mean, I didn't hate them, but I didn't like them as much as the first two Captain America movies or the first two Iron Man movies. They were definitely, and I could care less if there's another Thor movie or if I ever see Thor again.
It's because I'm gonna be hard on these. I'm gonna be hard. Natalie Portman, Kat Dennings. I don't think they tried their best in those Thor movies.
I don't know. I can assure you they tried their best. I don't think anybody goes into those phone numbers. I really don't. I think it's just a matter of they're hard to make, man.
Yes,
they really are. And
I think Natalie Portman just phoned in Dark World because she probably knew how bad the script and everything was. Like, yeah, I'll just phone this in. Chris Hemsworth was not phoning in anything. Tom Hiddleston was.
It's so hard to tell these days because there's so much digital mummery that.
Yeah.
Like how much of their performance are you really getting? It's like
there are some actors and actresses that are phoning in, but you can't tell because they're so good at it. And there's some actors and actresses that are phoning in, and you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you. That's. But yeah, like I'll say this most. Yeah, like And I felt like the Marvel origin stories since their phase 1 were not exactly the best. Ant-Man was okay.
But they all follow the same
Yeah,
basic formula,
yeah.
and they all almost follow that Tom Mankiewicz, Richard Donner Superman the movie
Hmm.
3-act beat for beat, and it's tiresome.
That's why I like the Batman. They didn't do that. No origin. We already know the origin. He's ready
Yeah,
as
they did.
Batman.
That's why. What was the first Tom Holland Spider-Man called?
Home
Homecoming.
Far From Home. Homecoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? What did that even mean?
I honestly don't understand why all his movies have home in the title.
I think they were trying to. They were trying to present them as being more grounded, maybe. And I don't know how you get more grounded than the Raimi ones, really.
Yeah, Raimi ones are
But
very grounded.
yeah, I don't know. I don't. As a whole, right now, I look back on the 3 solo MCU Spider-Man movies, and I'm just kind of like, yeah. Tom Holland, like it doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. It's just like a kid in a Spider-Man suit.
He does look too small to be Spider-Man. That's my problem. I know
I don't think
Spider-Man
I
was
have a
supposed to be a
problem with the
teenager.
stature. I think he actually looks more like Spider-Man than, well,
Oh,
maybe not in the costume. I think Garfield took it. He had the build.
yeah, Garfield had the build. Tobey Maguire was just
I don't know. Too old. They're just
yeah.
until Tom Holland. They've all been too old, and now he's too old. And I don't know. I think it's time to move on. You know. Am I
Yeah, but
wrong? I mean,
Tom I mean Tom Holland is still doing Spider-Man, but he's trying to get away with it. I mean he's trying to get more respectable roles. I mean if he's going to do that in Christopher Nolan film, that's a sign he's trying to get more get out of that
you're
Spider-Man.
going to finally get to see Spider-Man and Venom in a movie, except they're not going to be Spider-Man and Venom.
You're not gonna be Spider-Man versus Eddie Brock. Like they trolled us, man. They trolled us. That's Sony, man. I think Sony pulled the got cold feet on that. It's like, nope. We don't
I
want to do
just
them.
don't know how the Kevin Feige isn't. There isn't somebody that liaises, and I don't know. They're probably. I know that Amy Pascal is the go-between between
Yeah,
Tom Rothman and Kevin Feige and everyone at Disney, and Tom Rothman and everyone at Sony, and she, through Pascal Pictures or whatever, in her previous deal with Sony, negotiates all of that and works as a middleman, right? But what doesn't make sense to me is why there isn't somebody like running interference for Marvel to prevent all of these misfires. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And again, there may be somebody other than her, but it certainly doesn't feel like there is. You know, like Marvel still owns the character outright, right? They
yeah.
just don't own the movie rights. Everything else that has to do with any of those characters, it's all Marvel. Why
Hmm.
would they let? I don't understand why they keep letting Sony get away with it. You know, it's not like it would be a terribly long legal battle.
No,
The amount of money that they like somebody would, yeah, I don't know. I
it's
can't
like
imagine why.
what's up with Universal and the Hawk? Like Universal hasn't made a solo Hawk movie since what 2008. Like
Was it 2008,
I think it was 2000. Well,
2009?
it came before Iron Man. Like people think Iron Man 1 started MCU, but it was actually technically the Hawk movie because Iron Man was in it. Only Stark was in it. I think it was 2008 or 2007. But like we know, but Universal hasn't made a solo Hawk movie in almost 20 years, and like, what's going on there, man? Like
Well, because they can't.
Universal can't.
It's no. I think that's all. That's all been cleared up.
Oh, okay.
Um, I'm trying to look at the list in order of release. No, yeah. Incredible Hulk was a month and a half after Iron Man. Same
Yeah.
summer.
Okay. Okay.
Iron Man was in May and Hulk was in June.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
And
Oh yeah, you're right. It's still the same year though.
yeah, and remember that was Paramount had Iron Man, right?
Yep.
Yep. Paramount had Iron Man. Shit, did Paramount had Iron Man, Thor, and the Avengers, didn't they?
The first Avengers Paramount.
Or it was supposed to be. But let me double check that. Yeah, Paramount distributed Thor, and Paramount distributed Captain America, First Avenger,
Yeah,
and
the first few films were Paramount. The Phase One
the Avengers was not, but I believe it was originally supposed to be. But the deal,
was Avengers the first Marvel Studios film.
um, yeah, for the MCU, yeah,
Oh,
yep.
I wonder if Paramount regrets that. Regrets that.
Well, it wouldn't have been. It wasn't their decision.
No. Okay.
Yeah, no. It was just Disney refused to, or the Disney didn't renegotiate.
Hmm. Because they wanted to have their own studio.
Yeah, they wanted to get everything in.
Yeah, in house.
Yeah, like they do. I know one of the edicts that drove that's been driving Iger's, and this might explain a lot too if you're conspiracy minded.
A little bit.
One of Iger's missions is to get Spider-Man back, right?
I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised.
And how do they do that? They have a lot of different
I'm.
inroads. Right now, I know the plan is to part of the plan is to flood television and streaming with hour-long and 30-minute Spider-Man
Oh,
cartoons.
Spider-Man stuff. Yeah, like this. Like the show we're getting.
Specifically animation, because that's really
Yeah.
all they can do.
Hey, I've been saying this since Random Rap. I need Marvel Studios to get Spider-Man back. Full everything Spider-Man from Sony.
So we've
Sony.
got your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man coming up. I mean, I'm all but certain they're going to relaunch Spider-Man 98, right?
Marvel Studios cannot be happy with Sony making these films.
Yeah, no, they're not. There's just no way.
Yeah.
And here's another one I heard some whispers. A Spider-Man anime, like a
Interesting.
short form 30-minute, because I think they can only Marvel's the television animation, they can only be up to 44 minutes long, and if you put ads in them, you can get an hour, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So they could split. They could, they could. They're just going to throw, because you remember I was mentioning this in your chat the other night, that period when Marvel simply stopped licensing X-Men, starts and stopped, literally just put them in other comics and stopped making X-Men comics and just put those characters in other books and stuff, and like did no licensing, no promotion, took them out of all of their house ads and stuff,
Yeah.
just to screw with Fox. And
yeah. Because they want everything.
I know Spider-Man. Spider-Man is on.
Yeah.
Well, now it says when you get a check from Marvel, there always used to be a Spider-Man, like a little Spider-Man head, his face.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's it's Mickey Mouse with Spider-Man face on their check, and yeah. So, what was my point of all that? I don't remember. That's what somebody would call the weave. We'll somehow get back there, but I don't know how. We'll figure it out. Yeah, Marvel out, DC in, Star Wars where. Yeah, I don't know, man.
The thing is, you're a Star Trek fan, right?
Yeah. but I don't. I mean, I don't.
We are getting a Star Trek film, right? But it's not the fourth film. Isn't that
We're
Michelle
getting.
Yeoh?
There's a fourth. There's a fourth. The Section 31 movie is on Paramount Plus, and I believe it.
Oh, so it's a. Oh yeah, with Michelle Yeoh, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's
set in the. It's set in the whatever the
and the
Paramount
She-Hulk
Plus Star Trek.
actress. She-Hulk actress is going to be in one of the
She's in the
show.
new show with Paul Giamatti, and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of good people who are going to be in that new show. And so we've got Strange New Worlds is still
Yeah.
going. I don't know for how much longer. And we have the Starfleet Academy show. And we
hmm
have the Section 31 movie, and that's the streaming end. And then there is a fourth Kelvin verse.
Is that supposed to be the one by Simon Kinberg for the fourth one?
I'm trying. There are two. There are two feature films. One of them is the fourth
Okay.
Kelvin verse movie, and then there's another one that's totally unrelated to anything.
The
And I'm not
fourth
sure
one.
which one of those is.
The
Which
fourth
I'm
one
not sure which
originally
one
was
of
the Fantastic Four director, Matt
them.
Shakeman,
Yeah, it's been through him. It's been through S.J. Clarkson, the director of
Tarantino. And
Yeah,
Tarantino.
that Tarantino thing was.
Oh, was it?
Tarantino had a deal with Paramount. I know it was legit. Um, Tarantino pitched a Friday the 13th, a Beverly Hills Cop, and a Star Trek at Paramount. And they all were kind of long developing and stuff.
His style of filmmaking is very different from what I would see what a Star Trek is. It's like because you know how his films are, right? Like
Yeah,
he
it
has,
was going to be a time travel.
uh,
It was going to be a Star Trek time travel movie, and they were going to end up like Hitman town. Like they were going to end up in Pulp Fiction or some shit like that.
that's his style of movie.
But see, here's the thing: is that there are many episodes of Star Trek where they did like
That's
end
time
up in
travel.
like 19, Depression era Manhattan and stuff like that. So anything's possible with this stuff. You can't discount anything.
They do multiverse in Star Trek. Wasn't the first Star Trek movie with Chris Pine multiverse?
Yeah. Again, but Star Trek's always had parallel mirror
fantasy,
universes
space, science fantasy.
Yeah, the thing about Tarantino's Friday the 13th pitch, his treatment or whatever, is that the killer was he maintained Mother Voorhees as the killer, and Jason was still dead in the. So it was going to be the mom still doing the killing and stuff, which is very much in Tarantino's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And the Star Trek pitch was a time travel gangster type deal. And then I think the Beverly Hills Cop movie they were going to go international, but his plan was to send him overseas somewhere.
But it wouldn't be called Beverly Hills Cop anymore.
Yeah, because he would have been in Beverly Hills. Instead of going from Detroit to Beverly Hills, he would have went from Beverly Hills to wherever.
But it wouldn't be. But that doesn't make sense, right? That's the reason why it's called Beverly Hills Cop.
Well, I mean, couldn't it go both ways?
Is he going to make a fifth movie? I mean, the Netflix movie was very well received.
Yeah, they're going to make another one.
I hope it honored what's his name, John Ashton.
But he's good. Yeah, he died.
Yeah, I hope it honored him.
Who's Eddie Murphy playing?
Well, Eddie Murphy has a bit of a resurgence lately.
Yeah, he made some stinkers, man, but he's always been funny.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of kids, man. He stopped doing stand up. Had a bunch of crappy movies.
Yeah.
But he's still funny, and I'd love to see him do stand up again. My dad and I saw him. Was it 86, 87 at the University of Illinois Assembly Hall? It was when he was filming. He was getting ready to film or had just filmed Eddie Murphy Raw.
Oh, nice.
And that would have been the first time I saw a real stand-up comedian. like doing
That's
comedy.
back then when they're not afraid to say anything, man. 70s,
No,
80s.
they're still not afraid to say anything. That's the thing. That's why we're in this pickle right now.
Yeah.
Is comedians stopped being funny and started being
Well,
propagandists, and
yeah.
it's not good. You know.
I just don't like comedians these days. Always go to like not sex jokes, mostly sex jokes.
Well, that's okay. I like it's on the stand up stage. Everything, there's no sacred cows. You like,
Well,
you can say if I know I'm there to see somebody make me laugh, I'm giving them I bought a ticket and I'm giving them a license to offend me.
well, you know what? People don't feel like that anymore, right? It's become
Well,
too
that's
PC.
on them. I mean, when
Yeah.
it's
Well,
that's
that's
the thing. It's
well,
not my like other people's triggers
yeah.
aren't anyone else's responsibility. That's what we like. I'm as woke as a joke, man. Right? I am a social justice warrior. Okay, and
Yeah.
I still feel that there is such a thing as being too woke, right? Because not everyone is trying to hurt you. Not everyone
No,
is
that's the
trying,
point of comedy.
and we go to comedy club a lot, and that's the thing is I'm not going to laugh at everything, right? But I know what the point of it is, and it's if that's how that comedian feels, because that's where it all comes funny, because it's true. We've all heard that. That's where you got to leave it there, But when say a 12-year-old kid is
Ooh.
on Instagram and he's watching somebody's reel about catching some kind of weird fish, and it goes from that to straight to Charlie Kirk, or some crazy person telling them that brown people are going to be deported, what are people supposed to do?
I mean, like it's hard. You could police as much on the internet, but it's really up to the parents. Like, the parents have to do a better job of watching their kids and what they see. And sometimes sometimes the parents are like that too, like, right, like, because we know these days, gradually, parents don't want to deal with their kids, right? When their kids are being in trouble, not paying
Parents
attention.
didn't want to deal with their kids when I was a kid.
But now they just give them a fucking phone, right? Just give them a fucking phone.
All our generation's parents did was set us in front of a fucking TV.
Yeah, true too. Yeah, instead of
So
disciplining them properly.
My dad grew up in front of a radio and a TV.
The thing is, it's you know what it's like. There's a saying out there back around your time, and now for us for this time. Back then, TV raises the kids. Now it's like the phones and social media raises children, right? Like,
yeah, but the thing is about phones and social media is you can be. I don't know. It's just it's brain rot, man.
Yes.
It was hard to get a certain message to an impressionable young mind. For most, a certain type of message was shunned, and because it was just bad for people, for society, and somehow if you're not allowed to push that message, you're being censored. Well, not if you can still stand on the corner and say it. Nobody's taking you just can't go onto this private company's website and say it. You can't go into this newspaper's opinion section, where the comment section of their opinion page, and say whatever you want. That's not how it works. You can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater when there ain't no fire.
The problem is the young generation. It's scary what the young generation is going to be like when they're older.
Oh yeah, they're not going to have a clue, brother. I'm telling you right now.
I mean, there's a little bit of proof right now. I mean,
I've got a 17-year-old nephew who's getting ready to go to college, right?
Yeah.
Pre-med, okay? 17 years old. has his own business, has a candy business, right? Um, makes money hand over fist with this homemade candy business. He also is entering university as a third-year student because he just worked hard in high school and got, and he's already had he's got all of his gen ed classes out of the way before he even graduates high school. And he also works part-time at the local hospital as a medical tech because he's got a certified nursing assistant certificate at 17.
Was your kid
right?
Sheldon?
What?
Is
Was
the
he
kid
what?
Sheldon from Big
No,
Bang
he's
Theory?
just a good kid who knew what he wanted to do really early and
Yeah.
and stuck with it. So I'm not worried about everyone, right? I'm just worried about some of them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because not everyone can be this dumb. You know what I mean?
I know.
But the unfortunate circumstances is that enough people are to make a difference.
The thing is, people on the left, they need somebody with charisma and personality to lead
No,
them.
they need somebody with teeth
That too, a spine to fight back.
that will go lower. When they go low, we go
Yeah,
lower.
they're too nice. They're too nice. Too nice.
Yeah, it can only go so far.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Some people. I listen to Bill Maher on his. I know. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do agree with one thing he says with the Democrats. They don't fight hard enough against the
No,
Republicans.
we gotta be like more ruthless than them.
Yes. They're nice. They're being nice. It's good to be nice, but sometimes you can't be nice. You have to be mean.
Oh yeah, no. You get a lot more shame. Shame is a hell of a motivator.
And what I think what people gravitate to Donald Trump, unfortunately, he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. People love that.
I don't think that's it though. I don't think he does say what's on his mind.
Yeah, that's possibly, but
I really don't. I think if he said what was on his mind, nobody would vote for him.
I don't think I honestly think he doesn't believe the stuff he's saying anyway.
Oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't.
No, it's the people he's trying to he has a relationship with, right? The vice president.
The people that play to his ego.
The one thing. You know how people made fun of George W. Bush because they feel like he was not really the president, even though he was elected as the president, but they feel like Dick Cheney was really the president. That's what Donald Trump feels like. That somebody else is really the president. He's just a puppet.
Well, that's the thing is their projection is that everybody else is, and it's never them. And
yeah,
I'm just tired of the projection.
I mean, George W. Bush
anyway,
was kind of a stupid president, so.
Well, fuck yeah, he was.
I just remember watching bowling. Was it I forgot what dock it was when the World Trade Center got hit, and he was at the school in front of kids. I think it was in Florida, and Secret Service came to him, and he just sat there for like 10 more minutes. I'm like, dude, I don't care if you. I'm like, dude, get up right away, get up. I don't care if you're in front of kids. Yeah, you don't want to worry them, but like. This is more serious than that. I'm sorry, get up.
Okay, a little story I'll tell you here. It was a 2000 election, and I was at a university. I had a student assistant who was into geopolitics and stuff, and that wasn't my department. But I try to know a little bit about a lot. And we both voted for Al Gore. And
yeah.
We were talking about, and then they had decided, the Supreme Court had just decided that George Bush was going to be our president. He's like, well, what do you think's going to happen now? And I said, well, I think within his first 2 years of his term, we'll probably see some kind of world-shaking cataclysmic event that will force us into a war in the Middle East.
Oh, they foresee that. Oh my God. Oh, 9/11.
I said, yeah. I said, I don't know. Yeah. Said, we're going to Iraq, kiddo.
George Bush went to go to Iraq just to finish his father's war.
Yeah. Well,
That's it.
The writing was on the wall, what was happening, and
he couldn't even pronounce words
take a year. It took 9 months. I'm giving Trump's next pandemic 6 months, maybe June.
I don't want another pandemic, man.
Oh, we're gonna. It's coming, Aaron. Just wait.
They say the next pandemic. They say it's a flu one.
Bird flu.
Yeah, but that could be treatable though, because we could just update the vaccine. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, just like with COVID, we've had different coronaviruses throughout history. And
and most of them are harmless.
And one of them came along, regardless of how it came along. One of them came along, and took out a whole lot of people.
99% of coronaviruses are harmless.
Yeah,
the cold's one of them. The cold's a coronavirus.
Messed up society for a few years, and here we are now.
There's always a few weird ones that are like SARS, MERS, and COVID.
Yeah, we put the guy who literally drove the world straight into it.
What I'm scared about, Degrassi, is who Trump might consider putting in charge of health. Robert Kennedy?
He's not gonna be in charge of my health.
No. I mean, no, the bird flu, yeah, it's possible that's a pandemic, but I don't think it'll be as bad as COVID because, I mean, there's immunity to the flu, and there's going to be vaccine. They don't need to do all the testing for it, right?
I just feel that the powers that are soon to be, this is no conspiracy because we already saw it happen. Will do everything they can to drive
the avian flu,
everyone else straight into it at their, it's going to be hands off the wheel, man.
Yeah,
I don't. People can say, yeah, well, they wouldn't really do that. They already did. I don't. You just don't go. 2 weeks. Stay home for 2 weeks. It's not gonna.
No, it's not gonna. I'm sorry.
We know he told Bob Woodward. We know Trump told Bob Woodward that they knew that it was airborne and that there was really nothing anybody could do. But instead of telling us that, right? Instead of telling us that, Trump kept it a secret and Bob Woodward kept it a secret until he was ready to write a book about it.
The WHO waited too long. They waited too long.
No, I was listening to CDC reports in the weeks before the NBA canceled the game because that's when everybody started freaking out.
Yeah, the NBA player. Yeah,
everybody was like, "Oh, it's just another pig virus or whatever." What was it? The swine flu. And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I don't think it is." My brothers called me Patient Zero because I was the first person to be like, "You guys need to fucking watch out."
The thing is, in Europe, soccer canceled their season because it started in soccer first in Europe because it came like. North Americans were freaking out for sure of the basketball.
Yeah, everybody in the United States thought everything was just fine until, oh no, we can't watch basketball.
That's what we thought about the Spanish flu. Everything was fine, and guess what? The people that bought the Spanish flu were actually World War I people.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane that
here's the thing, Degrassi. Some people were like upset with lockdowns. Guess what? Lockdowns were nothing new. They actually did in the Spanish flu, and they did during the Black Plague and stuff. It was actually new. Villages.
Well, I can tell you that very little where I live, very little was locked down. We were
you're in one of those states, Tennessee, right?
Yeah, no, the American South, they didn't fucking lock down. My wife's still getting her hair done. We were still come on.
No, of course not. The red states, no. For sure. But it's not a new thing.
Don't think it won't happen again, and don't think it won't happen within the next 4 years because it most certainly will. They won't. We know who these viruses kill predominantly, and the less poor people of color that are around, the better it is for them, apparently. So. But back to Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars. Yay. We know next month the Skeleton Crew, and we don't have a date for Andor yet. We just know it's next year.
Well, the rumor is Andor may get something at the D23 by Andor.
Well, I hope so.
Season 2.
You know what's funny is when I watched Mando, the first 2 seasons of Mando, or
Great seasons.
Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you can they've put Andor and the first 2 seasons of you can get Andor, Obi-Wan, and Mando season 1 and season 2 on 4K, blue disc, physical media,
Mm-hmm.
and Mando season 3 and Ahsoka season 1 are coming out next month, and I think December. Is it? Maybe it's later. I don't know, but it's soon. So they're putting these shows out on physical media. You can get Loki season 1, Loki season 2,
Yeah.
WandaVision, Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye just went up for pre-order. They look and sound fine on Disney Plus, but man, they look and sound exceptional on 4K.
You see the Lord of the Rings thing coming out?
Yeah, but I bought that last big 4K box set that has all 6 of them, and I'm not going back. I'm not buying it again.
Wings of Power season 2 was really, really good.
No, I know.
And people are not talking about it. It was really, really good. Such a good. The way Sauron was so badass in that show. I mean, that's Sauron, guys. He's just he's. Balrog looked great. Gandalf looked great. Well, at the end,
I still can't believe that. I was just.
Yeah, well, if you read the books, Gandalf doesn't come for much longer because he doesn't come in that era.
I assume they're going to find a way to.
Yeah.
I assume they're going to find a way to.
Gandalf doesn't arrive when the Fall of Numar and Anatar is around. Gandalf is not really in that time period. He's later.
Yeah.
But who's that other wizard that's played by what's the actor's name? You know the actor. We see him a lot. What's the actor who played the evil wizard? I forget the actor, but you see him. He was Steppenwolf. You know what I'm talking about. I forget his name. Steppenwolf actor. He was in Game of Thrones as the Wildlings leader.
Oh, Syrian Hines.
Yeah, Syrian Hines.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Saruman. I don't think, because that's too early. Because Saruman should be a good guy, right? In this age, in this era, Saruman should be still a good guy. I think he's a random wizard they just made up for the show.
I doubt that.
But I hope it's not Saruman. Because Saruman would still be considered a good guy at this time, right? Because we know he's a friend of Gandalf in part of the Third Age, and then he betrays him later on.
I'm pretty sure he's Sauron.
So they're gonna make him a villain right away. I like some aspects of the show. It's just that what's gonna happen? I like the thing is, Sauron cannot be defeated. I'm sorry, guys. Even if you know Lord of the Rings, right? When at the end, when the ring finally gets burned in Mount Doom, Sauron's technically not defeated, right?
Yeah.
He's just powerless, right? Because I think he's a Mire, right? And Mires technically don't fully die.
Yeah.
And so, Morgoth, he's not technically dead either. He's just in imprisonment, a void, right? They have the void. The voids think they're imprisonment. He's there. That's what they put him in at the end of the First Age. But the thing is, I like how Sauron's viewpoint of how it's a very common vision of peace by dictatorship, right? There's people out there that believe peace is going to be done by slavery and no free will, right? That's what Sauron believes.
Yeah. So he might be a blue wizard. If he's not Sauron, he's a blue wizard.
Technically, I think in The Hobbit, Gandalf said there's 5 wizards, right? Him, Saruman, Ragged Ass, and 2 twins that don't have names.
You said a ragged ass.
Ragged Ass?
It's Radagast, but you said a ragged ass.
The high wizard. I call him the high wizard.
Ragged Ass, the butt wizard.
But you know what's so weird? You know what's so weird in season 2? Elrond and Galadriel kissed. But you know what's so weird? If you know Lord of the Rings, they're related to each other. Well, they're not related to each other by blood, but I think Elrond married her daughter, didn't she? In the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. It's all a mishy mash.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm like, when I saw him kiss, I'm like, he marries her daughter.
Well, different time, different place.
You know what's, oh my god, you know what, oh my god.
I,
Oh my
I
god.
just the amount of people that I thought would be clutching their pearls at all the incest in Game of Thrones that just were like, oh, whatever, that's cool.
Oh. And yeah, so, and I like this. I like Sauron is, right? Sauron is basically, I guess you could say, the devil of Lord of the Rings. Well, no, Morgoth is considered the devil. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're both
yeah,
are.
yeah.
I would say they both are, right?
Well, I think he was the big bad until he wasn't, and then
I think they're both incarnations of the devil in a different way. I think because Morgoth is kind of like created by Ivataru and kind of rebels against the creator and all of that. So in that sense, he's the devil, Satan, whatever. But Sauron, but the thing what brings Sauron, can you say he has the Satan-like, devil-like aspects, is him by being a deceiver, a seducer, a good looker. Because they say the devil, right? If he's in a human form, he's always known to be a good-looking person, right? He always looks good, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like an attractive man, and he's able to talk, right? He's able to get you to listen, be able to get you to do things. So I think Sauron takes that aspect of the devil, where Morgoth takes the other aspects of the devil, the fallen angel. And Morgoth just wanted to destroy everything. Yeah. We're not going to see the Valar in this show because Valar are not really part of the Second Age. But they do 5 seasons.
Possible, man. They I don't put it past them to squeeze anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, Adar is created for the show. Like,
yeah, but I think there was some kind of I don't think the character was ever named, but in some of the text somewhere there was like the progenitor of the Uruk-hai or whatever.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's based on.
He was one of the first dark elves that was fully turned into an orc.
Yeah, and that's what the basis for the Uruk-hai.
Yeah, early stages of the Uruk-hai. Yeah, like the early stages of the Uruk-hai.
Yeah, and so he's like the I believe the way Tolkien referred to him was the progenitor or a progenitor.
I mean, his character, I like his character because Lord of the Rings really is mostly black and white if you really think about it. But his character is a bit of gray because, yes, he's the enemy of Galadriel, the elves and dwarves, but he's also enemy of Sauron because he really cares about the orcs. He wants orcs to have their home for their own, right. He wants orcs to have a home for themselves, right? Where Sauron doesn't really care about the orcs. He just sees orcs as soldiers that will die in battle for him and doesn't really care about them. Like that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, that's most warmongers. They don't.
Yeah. Like
the soldiers are just cannon fodder.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I really love Lord of the Rings. But Lord of the Rings is very black and white. This show has a little bit of gray in it. Has gray in it. That's what I like. And at the ending, he was willing to make peace with Galadriel and the elves and all that, but he gets killed for it.
Yeah.
Sauron's so damn powerful, man. All in his human, in his F form. Oh my god. There's no way Galadriel could beat. I'm sorry. Galadriel cannot beat. Let's be honest. Isildur got lucky defeating Sauron. Okay? He got lucky.
I think that was the whole idea of it, was that it was just
luck.
By chance.
Yeah. He got lucky. But
the ring wants what the ring wants. Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And so there's that too.
Yeah.
So the ring wanted to be free from Sauron and corrupt corrupt someone fresh and new. That's
I
right.
hope
I mean, that's what I get out of it.
I hope in the third season we start seeing who become the nine, because in the books we really don't know who are the nine. They really don't have any names. We know they're kings, but like we really don't know who they are.
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna.
Yeah,
We've already started to find out, haven't we? I mean,
who do you think is gonna be the nine? One of the nines?
um, is it Isildur's father?
Is it? No, he's the one that gets killed by Sauron in the
Yeah.
final battle. Sauron kills him.
See, I'm just so
Elendil, yeah, you know
confused.
Elendil dies in the Sauron kills his father in the final battle of Pelennor Fields before the Third Age.
But isn't he being tempted now?
But I don't think he become one of the nine because of what happens.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
You know what I think is possibility? Because we might not see them, but Alfherzone, but Alfherzone's against Sauron, but I think Sauron's going to use him. Even though Alfherzone, I think, is going to die in the sinking of Numar anyway, because that's how it happens in the book.
yeah.
Maybe
That's why I'm distracted right
it
now.
has to be human, right? Because the nine are men; they're human.
Yeah. They were kings of men, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure we've seen some of them who will
kid?
end up.
Theo, maybe.
Well, haven't there been multiple scenes where there's like groups of
Yeah,
kings and leaders meeting and
yeah. I mean, it's possible we've already seen them, or it's possible they're just gonna introduce new actors to play new characters in the show. Because, like I said,
they're not above recasting people mid-season
nope,
either. So
Adar is recast.
yeah, they'll make a switch if they have to.
The thing is, they're already setting up in Lord of the Rings, the show, the beginning of the early stages of Gondor and Erenar.
Mm.
With the ending, we know how some of the Numerians came to that to the those people are that were part of that when Sodor got in a fight with Alfred's own son, and they want to put like a stronghold and outpost there, because we know in Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings, but Silmarillion, when it's sinking in Numar, the survivors, the ones that are remained faithful, right? Because the faithful, remember, if Alfred's own is resting all faithful, right? Right? The all
Yeah.
faithful ones survived the sinking of Numar, but they had west. No, they had east. They had east, the Middle Earth, and that's how they find Gondor and Erenor, because they're descendants of Numerians, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're finding the early stages of that, and that's when Andale becomes king, right? I think Andale does become king of Gondor. But the thing is, I think he has two sons in the book. He doesn't have a daughter. Doesn't he mention he had a son in the first season, a second son?
I'd have to go back.
Yeah, when I
The
saw
first season
Isildur,
I
like,
got through pretty quickly, but the second one I got some of
Yeah.
them early and had
You know,
to
like
spread them out. They were spread out.
in Degrassi, I was like in the first season when I saw Isildur, I'm like, oh, I know your fate.
Yeah.
I know
I
your
mean,
fate.
we kind of know everyone's fate. I mean, we know.
Yeah,
what-
pretty much.
I mean,
Well, I hope if they're doing a second Lord of the Rings movie, I hope it's an Aragon movie, a young Aragon movie.
I see the title Ranger of the North thrown around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's an Aragon. That's Aragon.
And if Viggo Mortensen comes back, it'll be for bookends, like how they brought Ian Holm and Elijah Wood back for The Hobbit and stuff.
It'll be a younger actor, right? Playing.
Yeah. Don't think that they're not eyeballing Timothy Chalamet to play young Aragorn. I'm telling you that right now. If these movies are happening if these movies are in any way not like beyond development, on the verge of green light or have a green light, and we just don't know yet, there's no way.
Oh yeah.
To get someone of his stature, a young actor of his stature, to play that part. It's just there's no two ways about it, really.
Even Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings is a young character at 87 years old, just because of what his blood is.
You know. And,
And are you looking forward to War of Warhammer?
yeah, I'm gonna check it out for sure. Yeah.
Right? I know the story, but they're the wildlings. You know, in the second two towers. You know, you see those wild men burning the villages and stuff. That's
Well,
what the story's about.
yeah, the Rohirrim, the War of
Yeah,
the Rohirrim.
yeah,
Yeah, I know Miranda
but
Otto and the guy that
yeah.
played
Brian Cox is
Brian
voicing.
Cox too, but I believe Miranda Otto voices two characters, and one of them we're familiar with.
Yeah. She's gonna. Well, yeah, because her character is Eowyn. She's gonna probably narrate it, right?
Yeah, I believe she introduces us to the story,
Yeah.
and then she also voices a character in the story. And then who played Theoden? I can't remember his name.
Theoden. Oh, he's passed away.
Yeah, he's passed away, but I believe he
Oh,
has.
Ben something.
I believe he has a. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to double check to confirm, but I thought he did some voice work for it
King Theoden.
before he
Yeah.
passed away.
Um. It's Bernard Hill.
You know who voices Sauron in it, don't you?
No, I
Christopher
don't know.
Lee.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Lee. But I
They
don't know.
took
Saruman
they
makes
took
sense.
unused dialogue and bits and
Uh,
pieces of used dialogue from uh, all 6 of the movies, and
uh, I don't know. If Saruman makes sense in this because by the time this war was going on, Saruman wasn't a bad guy then. He was an ally, like
yeah,
to the
and I'm
good
sure
guy.
that's what we know who's behind this movie, so we know they'll try to be as accurate as they can within the
I heard
confines of.
there is a bit of a connection to Sauron apparently in it, even though that has nothing to do with it in the book.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's little Easter
What?
eggies.
Yeah. They did have the Hobbit, right? They did have the Hobbit. They had to make sure with Sauron, even though Sauron had nothing to do with the Hobbit books. But I guess that's for the general audience. That's why they had to do this Hobbit, Sauron stuff.
Yeah, they wouldn't be saying putting Peter Jackson's name all over it if it,
Yeah.
you know.
The thing is, Battle of the Five Armies in the book, right? The orcs that were part of the army, were they working for Sauron at the time or not?
I'm sorry. Couldn't get to the mute fast enough. Weren't they? Weren't they always
I
working
assume they
for?
would.
Wow, it comes out next month already. Good
Yeah, it does.
Lord. Losing my voice here.
I can't believe Brian Cox. Who is Brian Cox voicing? He's voicing the king, right? The descendant of Theoden?
Yeah, Helm Hammerhand.
Yeah. Sounds very Norse mythology, huh? Sounds like
Mhm.
yeah, that's what they're based on, right? Because the shield maidens are
Yeah,
right.
they're the horsemen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
the
Lord
Rohan, the riders of Rohan.
yeah. Well, that's
Yeah, wait. So yeah, Miranda Otto is Eowyn. They don't have her as.
mm,
They have her as Eowyn, the narrator, but no
Gil
one else.
Weiss. Is that her? Gil Weiss, Gaia Weiss is Hera.
Yeah, Hera, the female lead. Yeah,
And Luke Pasadino's Wolf is
yeah.
the
Helm, Hera, and Wolf are the main characters, like the main 3.
yeah. Helm is the Wolf. Yeah. Duelins. Yeah, the Duelins
Yeah,
are the wildlings.
Helm's Deep is named after him, Helm Hammerhand.
Yeah. The Duelins are the wild beings, I believe. Eventually, it's funny. Nothing happens to them in the Two Towers. You see them burning down villages, but you don't see anything be done to them. Like they're just there and nothing happens.
Yeah. The producers chose to tell this story because its setting earlier in the timeline avoids the villain Sauron and the influence of the One Ring.
I don't know how it's
That's
possible
the
because the ring would be with Golem by then. I think it's set 200 years before Two Towers.
183
Yeah, okay. So I
to
don't know how
be
I don't
precise.
know how the ring would make sense in that aspect because I think Golem would still have the ring by then. The thing
Yeah, they
is,
said that's why they chose that story because it's set that
yeah,
far enough away that those characters don't matter.
yeah, And the hunt for Golem, right? Like apparently it's gonna be Golem is gonna be it's gonna take place part of the friendship of the fellowship of the ring up to like when he follows him to Gates of Memorial. More the thing is, I don't know why would that be called Hunt for Golem? It should be I know why.
I don't think that's really the name of the movie. I think they just I think a lot of what we're seeing, especially today, is they got to make these calls and they got to have some kind of meat to throw into the lion's cage, and they
The only,
just make up. They
the
have
only,
a bunch of words that they throw darts at, and they're like, and then they
the
come up
only
with the Hunt for Gollum
the
or
only Hunt for Golem that I know of, that's not in the movie but it's in the book. It's when Gandalf sends Aragorn to get the Golem before servants of Sauron does. Unfortunately, the servants of Sauron got the Golem before Aragorn. And that's when they torture him, and he reveals the location of the ring. And that's when you see the ring wraiths, the Nazgul go all the way to the Shire,
uh, so
right?
instead of all the magical mystical stuff in the MCU like Miss Marvel's bangles and
Yeah.
all that stuff that they were going to tie to Kang. Now it's all gonna be like pieces of Galactus.
Is Galactus replacing Kang? So Galactus replacing Kang, right?
Well,
So
partially they're like just like the explanation for all of those super pieces of jewelry or
Doom,
whatever that everybody in the
Robert
MCU has
Downey's
now.
Doom. I feel like Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is not going to be here for a long term. It's going to be like 1 or 2 movies, 3 movies, and that's it.
2.5 movies, and
Yeah.
a
So
lot
you
of them
think
are like
so? Like
a lot of
you
it.
agree with me, Blind? This is not the actual Doom that we're going to actually get for the MCU. This
No,
is
no,
going to be
it's the actual Doom. He's the actual
oh.
Victor Von Doom. I mean,
So
they've already said that. I mean, they
but
do.
so they're not really going to be. So Doom is not going to be like a major focus point just for only for these 2 movies.
Well, I mean, I think we'll know in July when because
Maybe
he's in
Mephisto
Fantastic
is
Four.
more the longer term villain for MCU and Galactus.
Yeah, I don't know, and I don't think they do. I think it's them.
You think? You think? Well, I think what happened was Jonathan Majors screwed everything up.
He sure did.
Jonathan Majors. This is not Majors' fault. Now, how to
What
explain
are all
how?
the little artifacts in the MCU right now? Like Miss Marvel's got her things.
Yeah, the 10 rings,
The
whatever they
Ten
call it.
Rings, yeah, Shang-Chi's deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, somehow all that stuff's going to be tied to Galactus now instead of Kang.
yeah. It doesn't make sense why it would be tied to Doom. It has to be tied to Kang. Yeah, Galactus.
I'm sure Doom figures into it somewhere, but
This is weird. Now they're saying Blade may actually get filmed next year.
it won't be this month.
Yeah, I think
Not
Blade
if
is
they're
still going to
using all of
happen.
their resources. Not if they're using all their resources on trying to get the 3 movies that are coming out next year ready.
I just don't see how. I just digress. I just don't see how Blade fits in the Avenger movies.
Same way it fits in the comics. It was gonna be Blade, Black Knight,
Ah,
Captain Britain, and who else is on the team?
what's up
Who
with
else
Black
is in there?
Knight? What the hell's going to Eternals?
It was the MI. Was it?
Yeah. What's up? With,
MI13 Marvel.
what's up with Black Knight though? Like
In that limbo.
he's a limbo.
Yeah, Black Knight, Blade, Captain Britain.
Henry Cavill's got him red.
Basically most of them were in Excalibur.
Excalibur. Oh yeah.
But it would be like that. There was a Captain Britain and MI13. that Black Knight and Blade were like the main, and Captain Britain were the three main mojos. They called
Captain Britain,
New
man.
Excalibur for a minute.
Do you think they're waiting Captain Britain? If they're gonna do Captain Britain, they're probably like waiting for X-Men muted stuff just because of his sister.
But haven't they already referenced
Or maybe
Betsy Braddock?
have they? I don't remember. Well, she was a Deadpool Wolverine, kind of. Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't. She was just. I don't know why she was a villain. Whatever. It wasn't even. Olivia Munn.
She was in Apocalypse, right?
Yeah, Olivia Munn played her.
That was the one. It was on HBO, and I was just flipping through channels, and it was on it because I still do that because I'm old school and old head.
I do that too, man. And
and I'm like, oh, this is. It was X-Men Apocalypse, and it was like the back half of the movie, and I left it on just so I could remind myself of how bad it was. And if there's one thing that's really, really, really offensive about that movie, as a fan of movies, is the editing.
Oh.
And I'm watching it, and it's in the proper ratio and everything, so it's not like blown out. It's not pan and scan or anything. It's letterboxed like it should be. And I still can't. I don't like it when movies give you no. I guess, for lack of a better term, center of gravity, right? Where you don't know where you are. They have no geography. You don't know where you are in the geography of the scene, right?
Yeah.
Because there's all these wild cutaways to these insert shots that don't make any sense. They don't help tell the story. That I'm watching this. I'm going, why did they cut away to that? And why did they use that shot, right? And just knowing what I know and what I've seen and where I've been, when that is the case, that generally means that the making of when you see that a lot in a movie, when you see something that should have never been printed to put, like it shouldn't have even made it to dailies, in a fucking finished movie, and you're like, oh my god, man, this was a chaotic from beginning to end. It had to be just an absolutely 100% chaotic process. And then when you hear about what went on behind the scenes of the making of that movie, you're like, oh, now it makes sense.
It was a Bryan Singer movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm watching that movie and I'm like, this is like, these people have been nominated for awards and shit, and this is what they came up with, and don't get me wrong, I get it. I don't want, some stuff's just bad, but I don't get bent out of shape. I just laugh and tell
you.
Yeah.
Like that's how I view the Venom 3 movie. It's not a really particularly good movie. It's actually a fun, entertaining movie. Venom 3.
It was just like, I don't know what, I wanted to go see Venom 3: The Last Dance because I needed to be reminded of the ennui of life and how seasons change. No, I want to go to I like those movies solely based on the back and forth between Tom Hardy and the cartoon guy.
Yeah,
that's all I want, is to see Venom and Eddie arguing about stuff.
Yeah. You can't it's cheesy. It's cheesy comic.
When he's especially when Venom's just had it. He's had it with Eddie's shit. Like, fucking come on.
Yeah. It's just,
if they did a Venom show that was like Curb Your Enthusiasm, where it was just Eddie just going about his day. There's no world threatening symbiote invasion from space or anything like that. He's just got to go get coffee,
dude,
right, and take a few pictures.
Where do you go from there? Because if you do Agent Venom and that's part of this continuation, I don't think Sony. I don't think Flash Thompson would be like Eddie, has a sense of humor like Eddie. If the symbiote latches on to Flash Thompson.
Who cares about Flash Thompson though? Like,
Yeah.
I know you could say the same about Eddie Brock or whatever, but he has been in 4 movies, and
Oh yeah, okay, No Way Home.
he's a,
Count.
no Spider-Man 3 and
Oh
3
yeah,
Venom
Venom.
movies.
Oh yeah,
So that's 4 movies. He was
Well,
also
No Way Home for 2
he's
minutes.
a main antagonist in every animated version of Spider-Man since the 90s, from the 90s on. So yeah, I mean, but somebody like Flash Thompson, you can't just take a 2-bit second-rate heel from, it works in the comics, but I just don't see something like that flying in the movie.
Yeah, it's just that when you introduce Null and you clearly set him up to appear again, but you have nothing planned, it's not a good look. I mean, it is Sony. Nothing they really do is like a great look because of Spider-Man stuff. It's just that, man, what are they gonna do with Null now if they? I don't want Null to be part of the MCU. I don't want him to be in Spider-Man 4. They decided, so I said, yeah, he'll put him in. Like, no, Null annihilates Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's a dark god. He's older than the universe.
Yeah, I don't think Noel's one of those characters that comes along and I'm just like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know what they should have done? You know what they should have done? The first scene of Venom 3, when you see Null, that should have been the after credit scene and Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, yeah. How many minutes was Null in that movie altogether?
I don't know, 5 to 7, maybe max.
Yeah,
maybe even less.
Said blink and you miss him.
Yeah. The beginning, a little bit of flashbacks, and basically the end after credit scene. How does it make sense though when Venom sacrifices himself, the Codex dies, but all of a sudden Null could be freed? I thought he couldn't be freed, and then the Codex is gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. And they don't either. It's making it up as they go along because that's how these things happen. It's how any creative endeavor is completed. You just make it up as you go along.
Does somebody that work on the film be like, how does this make sense?
It doesn't matter. They don't care. It's all it's the most elaborate money laundering operation I think of. It's just holy shit. They can just turn out just one steamer after another, and it just doesn't matter.
And it's like they're doing it on purpose.
Oh, I think they are. I mean, I think they
just to keep the rights.
Yeah, that's all it is. They don't. If they stop making these movies for, I forget how long the period is. What is it? 3 years, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
That
means they'll announce another one in a few years because Craven's the last one that's been announced and not actually being released soon because they haven't announced anyone.
But stuff like Spider-Man Noir and Across the Spy, all that stuff
counts. Oh yeah, on the TV side of things. Oh yeah,
all that stuff counts. So they can keep cranking out shit and it will not matter to them.
They'll probably. I think they'll just another movie.
See, here's the deal on the solo Spider-Man movies, right? They share. Marvel pays a quarter of the budget, right?
Yeah.
No, Marvel pays half the budget and gets a quarter of the revenue. Okay. And they get all the licensing money. And that's just for, they don't get shit from the Venom movies or any of that.
No.
They get whatever I'm sure there's some kind of, I forget the word, but structured licensing fees that are paid out every time they go out with one. But there's nothing for Disney or Marvel to gain from any like non-Spider-Man movie. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you don't see them. Marvel does not promote the movies, the Sony movies on their end.
Nope.
unless it's a solo Spider-Man movie in the MCU. Otherwise, they can eat shit. That's what Disney said to him, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
It's
not having licensed merchandise for your movie is a
It's
huge blow to your marketing. It really is. A lot of that
think
stuff comes out weeks, if not months, in advance of the movie's release. It's part of the hype buildup. Toys and clothes and posters and pops and tumblers and all of it.
like the Sony and Disney relationship when it comes to Spider-Man is not. I want to say strong relationship. It's not a very good relationship, even though it's kind of
And
it's
Sony
strained.
and Sony needs Disney more than Disney needs Sony. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strained relationship despite getting Spider-Man 4 off the ground. I mean, I think that we obviously did made these Sony movies out of Spider. If you know this, right? They started making the Sony movies after Spider-Man Homecoming,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
the reason why, obviously.
Yeah. The thing is nobody knows anything about Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
We know that right now. Dustin Daniel
Multiverse
Cretton's the director, right?
Yeah, they got Daniel Creston. Yeah, I think his name.
And I forget who's
Shang-Chi.
writing. Yeah, Dustin Daniel.
Yeah,
Cretton.
Shang-Chi director. Yeah. It was
so it's just like with any of this stuff. It's a wait and see.
Yes. Well, they said like multiverse, and then like people suggested no, and then like grounded. Like nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I think they're definitely going for. I mean, they set it up in the last one. They were going for a street level.
Yeah.
A little bit more of a street level kind of a.
I don't think it's multiverse because if it was multiverse, you could have kept Venom in it.
Even if it is multiverse, I don't suspect that we're gonna. I think the multiverse is going to be around for. They're not going to ever.
They said Secret Wars is going to be the end of the multiverse. Like it's going to be done.
I don't believe them.
I think honestly,
it will be their ever-present excuse to do whatever the fuck they want whenever they want.
I think it sounds like they just. I know you don't believe it, but it sounds like to them they just want to end this multiverse saga as quick as possible.
Yeah, but I don't believe them. I think it's a crutch that they will be.
Yeah, it's something they're saying because they know it's been a big disappointment, right?
Yeah, it's a crutch but clearly not because
make it feel better.
Deadpool Wolverine was an overwhelming success.
Huge success.
They're going to lean into that, man. They're leaning into that.
I mean, Doctor Strange is a multiverse movie. That's a success. Spider-Man
not
No
like
Way Home
this.
is multiverse movie success.
Not like. Yeah, you're just going to see more of it. That's another part of the Iger sanction is that just double down on what worked.
It's not the multiverse movies. It wasn't successful. It's the other ones. It has nothing to do with the multiverse, really.
No, but it's always going to be there now. They're never going to.
Yeah, because they call it the multiverse saga. That's so it's going to hurt the movies that had multiverse aspects in it that did well. That's going to hurt them because it's called the name of the saga. Right? You get hurt by the brand name, right?
Yeah, they need to stop doing that.
Yeah. That's
I know that the concept of phases has been something that they've tried to get away from, but they just can't because it's the only way. It's the only way that the audience can process this information, apparently. So they feel like they need to just keep going with it. I don't get it. It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't.
It doesn't. Well,
it's all a bunch of hogwash.
I'm going to end it here, man, because it's 12:15 for our.
Yeah, it's getting late for you, huh? Yeah, I got some stuff to do myself.
Yeah, right. I'll be doing another stream tomorrow. I'll be doing a stream Saturday, and Sunday is going to be finale of the Penguin stream.
Yeah. I said I'll definitely be down to chat with you about that Sunday night.
Oh yeah, and Blind is going to join too, first time.
It's going to be a hoot.
Yeah.
Give a hoot, don't pollute. We used to have there used to be an cartoon owl that would come on TV with a public service announcement about not
What?
polluting. And he would say, give a hoot, don't pollute.
I mean, I'm just watching sports right now. It's
Oh
fun.
I'm kind of going through I've got stacks of McFarlane toys.
Oh,
I
nice.
wish I could show you, but I can't. And
As- Before I actually end it, I'm getting the Mario game, Luigi.
really, the one
Coming,
that
yeah.
got bad reviews.
Yeah, no, I didn't. The thing is, the grass. The problem is, I mean, it's Mario and Luigi. Most of the time, Mario games do not get bad reviews.
Oh, you know what, Aaron? Today is Thursday, correct?
Yeah.
There was a new Astrobot speed run release today.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'll play it tomorrow. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm extremely
are you
pleased with
getting?
myself for getting the platinum on that
Are you
game.
getting the Indiana Jones game?
Yeah. I haven't turned my Xbox on for I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you when the last time I turned my wife we use
Well,
it
you
for
could, if you want. You guys could wait till it comes a couple months after to the PS5 because it's coming on the
yeah,
PS5.
no, I want to play it like day
Yeah, me
one.
too. I'm getting it next
So
month.
when does it come out? Next month?
I have the. I think I have the transitions right here because I'm actually on my GameStop website right now. Circle comes out on the 9th of December.
Okay. So that's going to be a good week for stuff.
I want to see Harrison Ford play it. That's what Harrison Ford probably never played a video game in his life.
I bet he has.
You think?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Actually, before this ended, I don't know what Grace Randolph thinks. A-list celebrities don't do TV roles anymore or streaming roles anymore. I mean, have you been paying attention to the past few years? Yeah, they do.
She just said I don't watch her, and she's not somebody I've ever really watched. I've just watched other people like you watch her, right? And she's just a dope, and like nothing she says has any basis in any kind of reality. And like that's the thing about I don't know who they're talking to that is convinced that they know what the fuck they're talking about.
Hey, Alien is not a horror movie, according to her.
Yeah, no, Alien is clearly a horror movie, and Alien Romulus is clearly a parody of Alien movies.
Yeah, and that Thunderbolt stream I did on her. Really, I mean, I really don't get angry at Graces when I do streams on, but that actually made me angry because everything she said in that stream was wrong about Thunderbolts. Everything. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank you for coming on.
Take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. See you tomorrow when I come up with something. Oh yeah, John Campius tomorrow. That's what I meant. Take care,
Boo.
guys.